how to start enjoying the life. Let us discuss something very interesting, very useful for daily life. Let us enjoy. And how to start enjoying? Just start witnessing the life. Because if we start witnessing the life of what? Life of every object of the universe. We just observe any object of the universe. Take a tree and just take the circle of a tree. Just observe what happens to the tree all the year, month by month. And nature tells everything beautifully. Nature teaches everything beautifully, audio-visually. It is said out audio-visually. We can hear it as well as we can see it. How we can visualize it? How can we see it? How can visually we see it? We see a tree. A tree starts growing from a seed. A sapling grows and grows and grows, becomes a tree. And when it becomes a tree, in all life, what happens? When it is a sapling, it has to be protected. Protected from all those animals, all those tendencies, so that the tender leaves of that sapling doesn't get harmed. It is not eaten by those animals or insects. And gradually, when it grows, becomes a full tree, then what happens? All season comes, it becomes full tree, with all flowers and fruits and everything. But if we observe all 365 days, then what we see? That it is a process of nature. It is a circle of the nature. And what is the circle of nature? That autumn comes. Season changes. And every year all the season changes. Every year all the season changes, without any interruptions. It is a universal truth. It is a universal truth that this is going to happen and it will happen. So as night comes and then shining sun comes and it becomes day and it becomes morning, beautiful morning comes, then it goes to the noon, then evening comes, and again night comes, and again sun rises. Similarly, every tree has a circle, all the leaves are shed. It becomes simple skeleton. And gradually, season changes and sapling starts. Sapling life. Leaves, fresh leaves, shining leaves, lively leaves, beautiful leaves, tender leaves. If you simply see those leaves, you become joyous. You are full of happiness. And gradually, again, leaves, a naked tree becomes full of leaves, then again it blooms and it becomes colorful and with all flowers, then all fruits. Again season comes season changes, and again the same thing repeats again and again. So if we observe the nature, so in one life, that is a truth. Graha dhinam jagat sarvam. And why these seasons are changing? These seasons are changing because Earth is moving around the sun, angle of radiation is changing, physical and chemical properties of nature, sun is changing, and as a result, the chemical changes in a tree happens differently, and all physical chemical changes happened in a tree differently. It sheds the leaves. It is again becomes full of leaves, full of flowers, full of fruits again and again and again. So similarly, if we observe our lives, then it's a natural law. It's a very natural law that we observe that how a child takes birth, such a tiny child, again it grows and grows and grows, becomes a man or woman, and again whatever. Then again the same thing happens, it becomes healthy or sometimes sick, it grows, sometimes happy, sometimes sad. Then again it grows, it has family and friends, and some leaves are shed, some leaves goes away, some fruits, they are just, leave the tree, they again go on soil, they again produce another tree. The whole circle goes on and on and on. Similarly, if we observe our lives, then this life is full of, circular changes. It comes in circle and circle and circle. It comes again, sometimes one whole circle in one life, sometimes many circles in one life. So if we observe the life, that as sun goes down, it becomes night. When sun comes up, it becomes day. So similarly, everything happens in a life very naturally, as we can't hold the night all the year. We can't hold the day all the year. We can't avoid autumn all the year. Similarly, we can't have spring all the year. So what is the secret to enjoy every season? If we don't know the secret that how the season changes, so what will happen? We will take a dip, we will go down, then we'll come up, then we'll go down, then we'll come up. We'll become sad in autumn, when we'll become happy in the springs. So we keep on fluctuating all the year with every season, with every moment of season. And it is a natural law that this happens. That this happens in every part of nature, right from the sapling stage to the tree stage. And when you become a tree, then in every season, it has its own discipline. It has its own laws of nature. So, what is the secret to enjoy every bit of it, every moment of it? Just to realize that this is a natural law and it has to happen. It is going to happen. It will happen. So as soon as we realize it, we immediately go beyond it. We transcend the situation. We transcend the feelings and fluctuations, which is related with all those moments, with all those events in the life, which is going to happen, which is but natural, which is natural law. So then we realize that this is a natural law. This is how ecosystem works. This is how nitrogen circle works, From sea, it evaporates, then it condenses, it becomes cloud, then it rains, and again it makes whole earth wet and fertile. Again, fertility comes. And so this is the circle. This is called nitrogen circle. So if we realize that, then as soon as we realize that, then we go beyond it. There is very beautiful book that is called Yoga Vasishta. It says Jnana hi moksha hai. That it says that knowledge liberates. Knowledge liberates means Jnana hi moksha hai. Means, what does it mean? That as soon as you realize something, as you know that this is eternal truth, immediately you go beyond it. And as you go beyond it, then these fluctuations, they no more affect you. They can't influence your happiness, your bliss, your state of permanency in that level of consciousness, which is called bliss, which is non-fluctuating, which is everlasting, which lasts for good. Nothing influences it. Nothing can make it fluctuating with the situations. So the secret, because all those things which are going to happen, which are influenced under those natural laws, because everything keeps on moving. Earth is moving around the sun, and it is all ever expanding universe. So things are moving. When things are moving, then they have the discipline, they have the natural tendencies to have fluctuations of temperature, of climatic conditions, and all those things. These are basic natural laws. So if we understand it, we go beyond it. Because, like in mathematics, it is said, when things are common, then it becomes zero. So when things are essential, it is going to get repeated. It is going to be repeated by the nature, and we know it is going to happen. When we know that we can't avoid days as well as we can't avoid nights, and day has to come and night has to come. So we know these natural laws, and as soon as we know these natural laws, we go beyond it. Then we are no more influenced with it. Because when we are with it, then we keep on fluctuating. And when we keep on fluctuating, then we are sometimes happy, we are in sorrow, we suffer. We are influenced with the waves, and we move with the waves, we fluctuate with waves. But when we are established in the consciousness, not on the physical level of that particle, which keeps on fluctuating with the waves, when it goes to that level of consciousness, which is the source of that particle and the wave and the ocean and the sky and all those ethereal values. When a person is established in the source wherefrom waves and ocean and sky and ethereal values, they all emerged. So when a person is immersed in that consciousness, and that is not philosophical term, it is very scientific term. When you are immersed in that level of consciousness, that eternity, then you go beyond the waves of the water, beyond the water, beyond that quantity of water which is called ocean or sea. We go beyond the sea, that is air. We go beyond the air, that is called sky. You go beyond the sky, which is called ethereal values. So when you are established in that source, and that is called transcendental value. So when you are established there, then you are established yogastha. Then you are established in permanent bliss. You are established in eternal happiness. And that eternal happiness is called bliss. Then you start enjoying every moment of life. That's why you will find a bliss, a smile on every enlightened soul. They have a beautiful, a typical sort of smile on their face that is permanent. Nothing can make them fluctuating with the situations. So establishing in that source, which is the source of all manifestation. So when a person is established there, then a thing starts happening, and that is called witnessing the situation. Then one starts witnessing the situation. And as soon as one starts witnessing the situation, then a person is no more part of the situation. Then he or she doesn't fluctuate with that situation. That consciousness becomes observer of the situation. Not part of the event, but a viewer, a seer of that part of that existence which observes everything happening. So when you are established there, then you become seer, you become observer. Then you are no more observed, you are no more an event, you are no more fluctuating with the event. You are out of it. You are established in the source wherefrom all the matter of event, all the events, all the happenings of event takes place. So this is the secret which can make a person start enjoying every bit of life, every moment of life. So this is very, very necessary. So you can understand it intellectually, and you can attain that level of consciousness by practicing few practices. For those few practices, one can interact personally or, by any means of communication. So these are the secrets which can make you start enjoying the life. Whatever, because autumn has to come in a season, spring has to come in a season, summer has to come in a season, winter has to come in a season, all these seasons, they have to change. Day has to come, night has to come. So when we know that these are natural laws and how these natural laws take place, and what is the secret, what is the source, what is the energy which is keeping all these universe running and in motion, when you are established in that source, you go beyond it. And that is called liberation. That is called moksha. Moksha means going beyond it. Liberation means just leaving all those grosser values behind and being established in that eternity, which is non-fluctuating. So this is the secret. As soon as one is established in that level permanently, then that person starts enjoying, starts being happy, start being in bliss all the time. Nothing can influence it. Nothing can make it fluctuating. So these are the secrets one must understand. Then every moment of life will become enjoying. Whatever best efforts with full knowledge, full dedication, full involvement, all those requirements which are required for that act to face that situation, one acts in that way. But person is not indulged with that action. He observes that situation, becoming the observer. So that's why never fluctuates with that situation. Does all duties, does all efforts which is required to do in that situation, but never fluctuates with that situation. So one just becomes observer, detached in a way, but with the situation, but in a level is detached, and one becomes observer. So nothing influences the person, and he always becomes the winner. He is always happy. He is always established in permanent bliss. Nothing fluctuates. Nothing can make the person fluctuate with the situation. So this is the secret to go beyond, to be with it permanently, but on consciousness level, a person is detached with everything, but with the everything, but without fluctuating with the situation. And when a person is established in that totality, and the source becomes observer and starts enjoying every bit of it. Just becoming observer, observing all the fluctuations, all the waves, all the ocean, everything, all totality. And a person is established in that source and just watching the situations, watching the life, and enjoying every bit of it with a beautiful smile. This is the secret. This is the secret to become happy on a permanent basis. That is called bliss.